we are a minority, an economic minority and a numerical majority. Some comrades are talking about a useless majority, right? So we need to change that. But what is it that can unite us? We need to develop a vision that cuts across, regardless of a political party. An overarching vision, African vision for this country. So why is that the case? Because it's our country. The Chinese have their vision. It does not mean that there are no non-Chinese people in China. The Indians have a vision. It does not mean there are no non-Indian people in India. There are people who are not Indians in India. There are people who are not Chinese in China. There are people who are not whites in Britain. But the white people of Britain are determining the agenda of Britain. The black people in Britain, they don't. It's not their country. They were enslaved there. Their position has not changed. Black Lives Matter, right? But they determine the agenda because it's their country. Somehow we are made to feel guilty if we get together and determine the agenda for this country as African people. So this is what is unique about us. We are the indigenous people of this country. We are the majority. But indigenous people in the US are a minority. They were exterminated. We can understand their position, right? They cannot mount a successful fight against the colonial settler white population in the US. About Trump, they are Americans, yeah, but it's not their country. We should not forget that. There are indigenous people there. They've been exterminated, others pushed down to Latin America. So we understand that it will be difficult for them to dismantle white power in America because they are a numerical minority. Same thing with Australia. The Aborigines are a numerical minority. What's the excuse here? The only way we can explain it is the issue of leadership and the need to develop a vision that unites African people across political parties. We should not be divided by petty issues. We should understand our principal challenge, and what divides us should be secondary. What we need to emphasize now is what unites us. And we share that experience of being dispossessed, of being oppressed or dominated, and of being exploited. We earn the lowest salaries across all the scales. No matter how educated you can be, you'll be the lowest earning person in your scale as an African in this country. So we share that experience, and we need to resolve it through power, access to power, and transforming whatever power relations exist. So we need that vision. So even if I form my own small political party, right? But that party, as a minimum, it must have elements of a vision that must come from this house. Because if my political party, my organization, right, my farmers organization, my business organization does not have elements of this vision, it means that it is outside the politics that are in line with the development of African people. We should not be differing over issues of land, issues of empowering African people. Resolutionary Reserve Bank. Both parties agree. The Reserve Bank must be owned by the state. Some leaders say, hey, we can't do it, it's too expensive. Can't it? We enter the struggle on condition that things are expensive or not. We can't take the land, it's too expensive, it's the same thing. So, if vision will allow us to be a solid unit, by eliminating what divides us, then we'll be a solid mass. We need to be a solid mass. An Afrikaner or a Boer person or an English person, la et Durban, no say Joes, When they meet you, they are one. They deal with you. We need to be a solid mass.